Okay, the reading for this week is the first part in our series on Japanese civilization and culture and philosophy. And today we will be reading an excerpt from the great Kamakura period, Zen philosopher and monk Dōgen. And the essay is titled How to Practice Buddhism, in Japanese, Bendōwa. I will provide the link to the PDF worksheet in the description below, along with a link to the source of the English translation, namely Sources of Japanese Tradition, Volume 1, edited by William Theodore de Barry, Donald Keene, George Tanabe, and Paul Varley. And you can purchase that book and read along with me here. Okay, so this is by Dōgen, and it's set, he lived during the late Heian period and the Kamakura period, right, which begins 1185 and ends in 1333. So it follows the Heian period. If you haven't memorized the dates for the major periods of Japanese history, do so immediately. I will be referring to them regularly throughout these lectures and explanations. Yes, I will also put the dates in the description to this video. Okay, so introduction. Dōgen Zenji, born in 1200, died in 1253, is the founder of the Soto Zen sect in Kamakura, Japan. Okay, remember the Soto sect is one of the two main sects of Zen. The other is Rinzai, which we've already discussed in the context of its founder in China. So Dōgen Zenji, the founder of the Soto Zen sect in Kamakura, Japan, is often referred to as the leading classical philosopher in Japanese history. His essays on numerous Buddhist topics, included in his main text, the Shōbo Genzo, or the Treasury of the True Dharma Eye, reflect an approach to religious experience based on a more philosophical analysis than in the writings of Zen. So remember that Zen is sort of notoriously anti-intellectual or anti-philosophical. It's known as, quote, a special transmission outside the scriptures, without reliance on words and letters. So there's this kind of disdain or skepticism toward intellectualism and thought and writing in general in Zen, but you don't see that as prominently here in the writings of Dōgen. The single main element in Dōgen's approach is his emphasis on the meaning of impermanence, underline impermanence, or transiency, mujōkan, in Japanese, mujō, of all aspects of human and natural existence. So impermanence, transiency, mujō is obviously fundamental to Buddhism, but it's especially stressed here in the writings of Dōgen. Okay, before I read the excerpt from his essay, let me read the 4 questions on your study guide. Question number 1, what are the benefits of the practice of sitting Zen? Right, so Zazen is sitting Zen. This word originates in China, but it was given special prominence in Japan, and it came to be known as Zazen, still practiced today in Zen sects, groups. Question number 2, what does the infinite Buddha Dharma refer to? Okay, so he mentions the Buddha Dharma. Dharma, you will remember, is in Japanese is whole, Chinese fa. It's the word for the Buddhist law. What is the infinite Buddha Dharma referred to specifically in the text, in the context of Dōgen's essay? Question number 3, what does Dōgen mean by avoiding clever slogans? What are these clever slogans that should be avoided, and why does he think they should be avoided? Explain. And the final question, what could merely grasping earth or sand be a metaphor for? Okay, so we'll encounter that phrase in the excerpt which I'm about to read now. Excerpts from Dōgen's How to Practice Buddhism, Bendōwa. And note that this Bendōwa section is included in the Shōbo Genzo, in Nishio's translation of the Shōbo Genzo. There's the information to that book in the study guide that you have. Alright, here's the essay. Because the fully awakened ones, Buddhas, hold on. I lost my place there. Let me start again from the beginning. Because the fully awakened ones, namely Buddhas, provide mysterious assistance, when you practice sitting Zen, Zazen, you will definitely slough off body-mind, eliminate habitually defiled thought patterns, and realize divinely genuine Buddha Dharma. You will aid all, underline body mind there. That's an important idea in the context of this essay, and why we'll discuss in class why he thinks it's a good thing to slough off body mind. You will aid all body Buddha activity and all Buddha wayfaring sites as infinite as atoms. You will encourage the aptitude for practicing beyond Buddha and promote the Dharma beyond Buddha. At that moment, all lands, plants, fences, and roof tiles throughout the Dharma realms of the 10 directions also engage in Buddha activity, causing everyone to obtain the Buddha's inconceivable mysterious assistance in attaining awakening as easily as they receive natural blessings like wind and water. Just as everyone makes use of water and fire, so too you will circulate the innate realization of Buddha deliverance, so that everyone living or talking with you will all embody inexhaustible Buddha virtue. As it unfolds and widens without end, without break, the inconceivable infinite Buddha Dharma, so underline this is the infinite Buddha Dharma that's referred to in the questions. The inconceivable infinite Buddha Dharma will flow throughout the entire cosmos and beyond. The fact that the one who practices sitting Zen is unaware of the Buddha's mysterious assistance is because it is direct realization of non-deliberative quiescence. If, as ordinary people suppose, cultivation and realization are two separate processes, then it could be possible to be aware of each in isolation. But what interacts with our awareness cannot be fundamental realization, because fundamental realization is beyond deluded human thoughts. Continuing. Know that Buddhists must not engage in debates over the superiority or inferiority of the teachings, and must not choose between profound and shallow doctrines. Just know whether the practice is authentic or not. Grass, flowers, the landscape itself have brought some people into the Buddha way. Merely grasping earth or sand has caused others to receive and preserve the Buddha mind seal. This means that the greatest words are the ones whose abundant meanings overflow from every existing thing. The great Dharma wheel of preaching, remember the word in Japanese is butsuring, tending, I think is the word in Japanese, the great Dharma wheel. The whole no tending is turning the Dharma wheel is the literal translation of this phrase, and it means spreading the teachings of Buddhism. Tending whole. The great Dharma wheel of preaching, Buddhism namely, turns in every speck of dust. In light of this, a phrase like "this very mind is Buddha" is just the moon reflected in water. This very sitting becomes Buddha, unquote, is just a reflection in a mirror. Do not be misled by clever slogans. Okay, so this is the question referred to in the issue referred to in question 3. Do not be misled by clever slogans. I now recommend the practice of direct realization of Bodhi. Realization of Bodhi is ultimate enlightenment, you remember from previous episodes. I now recommend the practice of direct realization of enlightenment or Bodhi, because I teach the marvelous way directly transmitted by the Buddhas and Zen ancestors, and because I want you to become a true man of the way. Alright, we'll go over this very dense passage in more depth in class. That is all for now. I will see you then. Goodbye.